Thank you so much for being here. Let's just start this conversation by, your key takeaways from your session today.
I think one of the core takeaways that I had was that it is very important, particularly to have a successful product first, and a successful product that people love, like, can create the necessary environment for a business to sustain and survive.
Okay. Okay. Uh, speaking of speaking of a successful product, your product is not particularly meant for the people as of now. So in the future, when can we expect IdeaForge making their products for the consumers?
So, in terms of consumer products that are meant for videography or photography, those are applications that we are not focusing on in the short term for sure. Uh, but looking at applications that can serve the consumer using logistics as a technology is something that we are building products for.
In your opinion, what are the do's and don'ts for founders and co-founders, to help them navigate the startup landscape in the next 1 year?
I think from whatever we've seen in 2023, there has been a huge shift of looking at this technology, not just, or the startup ecosystem, not just from the point of view of what's the valuation of the business, but to look at what's the value the business is creating so that it can receive the necessary support, both in terms of monetary and user adoption, and it can thrive in the long term. I think that focus has shifted from short term vanity metrics to long term business and environment building.
What would be your key advice to people who are looking to start up a new business?
I think for me, it is very important that entrepreneurs should do this for the right reasons. I think doing entrepreneurship because it's going to make somebody more money, or doing entrepreneurship because it's cool, I think those are not reasons enough to survive the challenges that you face in the entrepreneurial journey. And I think to prepare yourself for a long haul and a long entrepreneurial journey, it is very important to be motivated about the business that you're choosing to build the whole experience on.
Okay. Uh, which sector would you say will be the key contributor in the Indian economy going forward?
I think deep tech is going to be extremely crucial for the country to become a very, very large entity or a country in the global ecosystem, which can ensure that we have profitable growth for the ecosystem, and we have growth that is connected to a lot of brands as well, like we see in the rest of the world.
Okay. Okay. Speaking of the drone sector in particular, what would you say are the key factors that will drive the growth of this sector?
I think the drone sector is largely going to be dependent on how we play out the regulatory economics in a way that it is meant for adoption and inclusion or growth of the sector first, and then look at regulating it in a way that it is safe always, irrespective, but oriented towards adoption, because most of the enterprise users and the government users that we are going to be looking at, they need rapid expansion. Drones are a part of the governance infrastructure for any country, and that's what the country has to do in terms of adopting the technology and driving its growth in that broad sense. In terms of applications, I do continue to see that defense and civil applications, particularly related to infrastructure, are going to grow significantly over the next few years.
All right. All right. Last question. What goals have you set for your organization in 2024?
I think our focus is to build a few more categories of drones, particularly larger systems that can help drive logistics as a use case, or help offer surveillance or mapping applications at a much larger scale than what we've been doing earlier.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Mehta.